Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, today's story comes out of Lakewood. This is North Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, so it should be in that state. Okay, and the title reads, Neighbors Speak Out After Lakewood Woman Shot, Killed in Dispute. Now, before we get into this story, guys, if you wouldn't mind, again, leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribing, okay? The channel is growing, and it's thanks to you guys, okay? It is growing, getting ready to hit 200 soon, okay? We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, okay? And I need your help to get there, all right? Don't want to ask for any money, just your viewership, your participation. All right. So we can spread this good news. Okay. And you guys can always hit me on Twitter, on Minds, and on Truth Social. So let us get into today's story.
Jack.
911. What city is your emergency in?
Lakewood, North Ohio.
Stay on
Lakewood, Ohio.
line for Lakewood. Let me connect you.
The peace and calm of this neighborhood on Ridgewood Avenue in Lakewood was shattered just before 6 p.m. on Friday, when witnesses say a 33-year-old woman began a violent confrontation with residents behind their home. Witnesses say after an angry exchange of words, the woman tried to prevent one of the residents from leaving the driveway in a pickup truck. She reportedly pulled out a gun and fired several rounds at the truck.
911.
911. Okay, there's a shooting happening next door.
Okay, this is on Ridgewood.
Yes.
Witnesses told Lakewood police that a neighbor who was a gun owner heard the shouting and gunfire and emerged from his home to investigate. When he saw the woman still pointing the gun at his neighbor in the truck, he shouted for her to drop the weapon. And then when she turned and pointed the gun at him, he opened fire and shot the woman. She was later pronounced dead from a gunshot wound to the chest.
Now, guys, a lot of people could say here, in this moment, why didn't the neighbor just stay in his home? Okay, well, I'll tell you why. Because the woman was shooting somebody else who may not have deserved it, nor did it warrant that level of violence. If you're having an argument with a particular individual, okay, and I'm going to tell you this may sound sexist, but particularly as a woman and you are having an argument, that should not even be taking place. Where it even gets to the level of violence. I don't even think women should be fighting each other, especially not fighting a man. So if she's shooting at a particular individual, if she's not in fear of her life, and if it's over an argument, it shouldn't have gotten there. People have to control their emotions. I remember when I took my very first self-defense class, concealed permit, what did they say to me? Boss man, you got to be a little bit cooler than everybody else, especially if you're carrying a gun. There should be no reason, nothing at all, that you get into a physical altercation to the point where you have to draw your firearm over an argument. No way. Okay, it's unacceptable. So if this woman, and if this is what exactly happened, okay, this woman is in the wrong. And particularly she's in the wrong when she starts to shoot at a vehicle that she tried to keep in her driveway. She's already, that can already rise to the level as kidnapping. Yes, even though she's in the vehicle, it could be you are preventing them from leaving. Okay? She may be in violation and she may be committing a crime. Now, what happens now? The neighbor comes out to investigate. Would I have done this if I heard gunfire? I don't think so. I don't know, to be honest. Because then it would be a hard time to figure out which gun am I going to take. Do I take the AR-15? Do I take the shotgun? Do I take the 45? Maybe the 9. Maybe a subcompact. Maybe a PDW. Whatever. Do I put a suppressor on it? All those things. Okay, I got a go-to weapon. But anyway, that's besides the point. So the neighbor comes out, and when the neighbor comes out, he is seeing this woman shoot. He draws his weapon and tells her, put the weapon down. And what does she do? She turns the gun to him. He has no choice but to fire. If he's coming to self-defense, if he's coming to the aid of another person, which is what happened here, while she's shooting at a neighbor, and he is coming as the good Samaritan, and she turns that firearm on him, all bets are off. He has to shoot. Okay? Let's hear the rest of this story.
911 emergency.
Hey, I think I heard gunshots.
Yeah, hold on. Hang on. We got officers there.
Kind of just shook me. Like, I didn't really know what to do. I was like, this has never happened before. This is not something I was prepared to see or hear.
Witnesses say it appears the man who fired the fatal shot was trying to defend his neighbors and was left with little choice when the woman pointed the gun at him.
Honestly, the first thing that came to mind was a threat, because I feel like in order for him to get that far into having to use something as a weapon to defend himself, I figured, okay, something bad is really happening.
Investigators say 3 people, including the neighbor who used deadly force, were taken to Lakewood Police Headquarters for questioning. All 3 were later released. Detectives are now attempting to answer a series of questions to determine if the deadly shooting was legally justified.
What precipitated the original argument? Why shots were fired during the argument? What happened when a possible second argument occurred? Whether guns were pointed at each other? What things were said between the parties? But people do have a right to defend themselves. This sort of situation where why and how the shots were fired, we're still sorting through, trying to figure out.
Do you hear what this man said? People have the right to defend themselves, okay? Period. And him saying that, yes, we can go through all of who did what. All that is supposed to be investigated, and the police have to do that. That's their job, okay? Nobody else's, all right? But there are plenty of witnesses. It looks like it was another woman that she had an altercation with, okay? But in my opinion, women shouldn't be fighting, period. That is not their role. If you're fighting for your children, that's different, okay? But each other, no. And definitely not another man, okay? No way, okay? So this man came out. He not only defended his neighbor, but he defended himself. And in my book, if this is how it really went down, this neighbor is a good guy. He is a good guy. He is a good Samaritan. Thank goodness, because this woman could have killed her. But she was saved by another man with a gun. Well, guys, that's the end of that story. So, what else can you say? In times like this, when you see things like that, people getting out of hand, fights, if you are being very aware, you are already listening to the raise in voice, okay? If people are arguing, usually yelling at the top of their lungs, right? So you're looking at that, you're hearing that. Maybe you're in the house, obviously, and you're hearing that, and you're saying, hey, wait, what's going on, right? And it's not just at home. It could be in a restaurant. You could see some two jokers out there. They're getting pretty loud. You may tell the waitress or whoever that person is, hey, do you mind sitting us over there to the other side? That way you can be away from it. Okay, it's there's so much. I would think there are so many pre-indicators that pop up before things like this happen. Okay, it is very rare, at least from everything that I've seen, okay, where guns are just drawn immediately off the jump. Because usually things like that, we're talking gang, retaliatory. They have already premeditated. They know they're coming there to shoot. Okay, stuff like that. But in the moment, if you could de-escalate, if you can if you can bring the temperature down. There's no, especially being older guys, there's no harm in saying, hey boss, I didn't mean to offend you. Okay? Don't want no trouble. I don't want you to have any trouble. And you be the bigger man and just say, hey, look, boss, whatever I did to offend you, I didn't mean it. Okay? But some people have egos, and we are seeing this even in women, okay? And when they do this, what happens? People lose their lives, okay? It's terrible. There's no reason for this, okay? But guys, what would have happened if the neighbor didn't have a gun? What would have happened? This woman probably would have emptied her magazine into the vehicle. And remember, from the police report, from what they were saying, it was 3 individuals. So it was the neighbor, it was the woman she was having to argue with, and another person. 3 different people. What if she had killed those 2 individuals in the vehicle? Over an argument? No. Thank goodness for the self-defender. Thank goodness for the good guy, for the neighbor, for the good Samaritan. Because if good people do nothing, there will be no good guys.